Look at how beautiful and mythical and mystical and magical this forest is. Hey, roof, roof, roof. I am on another walk with my puppy Bodhi, so I thought, why not make another video, right? I got a free hand. Anyway, what inspired this was the Buff Dudes recently released a video where Buff Dude Brandon, was talking about how the big bulk that he had just embarked on, how it may not have been worth it.
I wasn't quite satisfied as I thought I would if I would hit that milestone. So in this video, I want to talk about some of the reasons why maybe you should bulk or maybe why you shouldn't and what's changed over the years for me.
And you know, what you can kind of do instead. And you know, he of course mentions more of like a lean bulk slash main gaining sort of approach.
You don't have to bulk and cut to gain muscle. You can just honestly slowly increase your calories throughout the years. You know, you can maintain a great physique, but you don't have to go through these phases of bulking really high, gaining a lot of weight, then cutting down. I mean, that's a certain technique for some people, but not everyone.
And then it got me thinking about the semantics of it all. Like, what is main gaining versus lean bulking kind of thing? And that got me thinking about Revival Fitness. And let me start by saying, I am a fan of Revival Fitness. I think he is a source of good in this industry, and he has some very quality content. But I tend to disagree with how hard he comes down on the idea of main gaining.
If you're always eating on that bleeding edge of cutting or those maintenance calories, it's gonna take you infinitely longer to build even a little bit of muscle as opposed to a 300 calorie surplus. Regular bulking and cutting done at moderate speeds are the best way to recomposition, not maintenance calories.
Why do you have to get fluffy and not like it? Why can't you just look the way you want all the time? Don't bulk, just main gain.
You don't have to do this and do that. It's like, yeah, you do. Sometimes you have to do things you don't want to do to get your desired result.
And he often criticizes, of course, Greg Doucette, who is a big proponent of the idea of main gaining.
He didn't gain enough because you told him to stay lean and somehow he was gonna build muscle. This dude is a clown on a level. We're gonna rename Greg Schmucky the Clown.
Now, I personally think a lot of the disagreement comes down to sort of a semantical debate, as well as possibly getting a bit overly pedantic. Because personally, I think that main gaining and lean bulking are kind of the same thing. Now let me explain. How can one really know what their maintenance calories are in the first place? It's gonna be different on a regular basis. Now I know for myself, my goal is to get about 3,500 calories a day to maintain my physique. Now at this 3,500 calories or so, I have abs, I have some shoulder vascularity, I have striations. So yes, quite lean. I would peg myself probably at, you know, in that 10 to 13% range. I know that's kind of a decent range right there, but, you know, somewhere in there.
But staying very lean and always obsessing over your shredded six-pack, your ripped abs, being lean for the beach year-round, especially as a natural trainee without really good genetics, you're going to keep yourself small and weak. You could just eat in a 300-calorie surplus, but you won't because you're scared to lose the abs.
Now, according to Revival, at least from my understanding, this is not an optimal way to put on size and strength.
Tell me how it works out for you, brother. Come back here in a year's time when you've added 5 pounds to your bench, 10 to your squat, you probably half rep it anyway. Come back then, and you're gonna be like, wow, you were right.
Yet I have been. Now, prior to being at this 3,500 calorie quote-unquote maintenance, I was doing something ridiculously stupid. I was trying to maintain more in that 6 to 8% range. And I did that, honestly, for a bit over a year. And I was doing it in hopes to promote myself as a trainer online, as well as to make myself look as impressive as I could while I was performing in the theme parks. Now, of course, during that time, I did not make any size and strength gains, of course. I mean, I probably could have. It would not have, it's not optimal at all. It would have been an extremely slow process, but I really don't think I did make any gains in that time. I looked sick, but didn't make a lot of the gains. So yes, being that lean was not optimal for me. But that's just it. What's optimal for an individual is going to be individual.
That percentage is different for everyone. I wish I could say that's 15% for men and 24% for women. Get to that point and then main gain. It's not. This depends on your genetics, which you get from your parents. Everyone has a different number of fat cells, hormones, ghrelin, and so on.
So that's the thing. Maingaining is not just like this one set point. It's wherever you feel most comfortable, most healthy and happy. If you have energy in the gym, which I do, but I also have abs. I also have a full 6-pack, and in some lights, kind of an 8-pack too. But yeah, I've been making consistent size and strength gains ever since I started upping my calories to that level. And I've been keeping it, my diet, very similar. And I've been at this 3,500 calorie or so goal for about a year now too. So it's not like I just came off my ridiculous, 6 to 8% body fat, and now I'm just experiencing all this strength and size gain. It's like, no, this has been a while, and the progress has been steady and awesome. Like since August, that's when I started for the first time doing sumo deadlifts. Before then, I'd really just, I'd do some conventional deadlift. I do straight leg deadlift. I do hex bar deadlift. I hadn't done sumo deadlift, but started doing that in August, and I've already taken that up to 405 for 8 reps. And I'm hoping to continue to see that go up. And once it starts to stall, I mean, obviously I can change some things in my programming, but also I might up my calories a little bit. But I don't see any need for myself personally to look like I'm in this bulked state, because that's not necessary for me. Again, it's an individual thing. Like if you feel happy and healthy where you are, I'm not quite sure what your body fat is, but you've been doing some great things in the gym. I saw you're doing 500-pound deadlifts, like incredible, awesome, really happy for you. But I don't really like the idea of trying to promote that you can't, progress when you're, a bit leaner than what might be expected for a quote-unquote bulk of sorts. Personally, I don't think that lean bulking is the same as just more of a standard bulking and cutting philosophy, because to me, lean bulking, it implies that you are kind of bulking up in terms of building muscle, not fat, bulking up into whatever body fat you kind of have. So that's sort of the idea of building muscle and losing fat at the same time kind of thing. And again, it's working for me. I don't think it should be argued that I'm an anomaly here. I mean, apparently it's worked for Greg too, and I would assume it's worked for countless others as well. But yeah, I tend to think that the traditional idea of bulking and cutting is not healthy and not really something that I would promote or advocate for.
During the bulk, you'll build muscle a little bit quicker, then you'll lose a little bit more on the cut. Versus if you maingain, you will continuously throughout that entire period of time be able to put on muscle. Maingaining is just as good as bulking and cutting, but healthier. They don't want to hear eat healthy year round, have balance. No, it sounds way better to let's bulk.
And I am sure it is also very much worth mentioning that I am in fact natural, so there's no trickery going on in there, no witchcraft and wizardry. All natty, bruh. Not even testosterone. Just a little bit of creatine and caffeine, The two C's, caffeine and clenbuterol. Creatine. That was a joke. I am natural.
That only works for a select percentage of people in the gym. Total beginners, elite genes, which is not most people, PED users, and people who were overweight or obese to begin with.
I had a lot of issues with weight gain in the past, so it's not like I'm just somebody who easily puts on muscle. So it's not just like it's easier for me to eat what I eat and maintain what I maintain, or maingain what I maingain, whatever the fuck you want to say. And honestly, I'm pretty sure there are some days where I do get a bit more than 3,500 calories. I'm an extremely active person. Like I am always moving. I mean, I'm on a walk right now, as you can see, but I almost never sit down. The only times I really sit down are to do a little bit of busy work on my computer, whether editing YouTube or writing essays, that kind of stuff, doing certain client work, emails. But even then, like sometimes I'm also multitasking, playing with Bodhi here. I'll be playing tug of war or some shit whilst sitting down. So yeah, in my opinion, I put maingaining and lean bulking kind of in the same camp. And from my understanding, Greg Doucette does as well.
My maintaining advice applies when you're at a weight that's healthy for you. I preach, if you don't have energy, if you're not eating enough, you don't feel good, eat more.
I know this is another video I'm making on Greg Doucette. I'm sorry, he's a name that comes up a lot. He's a great person to help make examples of things, so talking about Greg again. And I also want you to know that I'm not out here getting lazy. I'm still gonna be doing more video essays, but the reason I've been doing more of the talking to the camera videos for the last couple videos I released is because I've been working on a very big video essay that I'm quite excited about. So please stay tuned for that. I think you're gonna love it. Also, what do you guys think of the beard? Should I keep that going? I like to go in like phases of baby face and beard, and I think it's time for a little beard action. But should I let it grow like quite a bit? What are we thinking? Should I go Jeffrey Reddy Schofield out here? But yeah, in conclusion, I take issue with the idea that there's like one way to like bulk up, I guess. Like, it's a very individual thing. I am somebody who finds, you know, my 3,500 calorie, again, it's around there. Like, tracking that accurately is not even possible. Even if you're weighing every last thing, you still run into the issue that your energy needs are going to be different on a daily basis. So what I love about the Maingaining philosophy is that it's a much more balanced way to go about things. Like, I tend to think that it's not all that healthy to be up and down so much. I don't want to bulk up just to cut way down. But yeah, I like the idea of trying to formulate a lifestyle that you can stick to, as opposed to being in these phases of bulk and cut. I used to subscribe to that ideology and I fucking hated it. You know, I kept on telling myself that this was the only way. And then honestly, Greg Doucette's the one that came along and changed that for me, and it helped me a lot. So I think this is an important message to send out, that it's like, I'd rather enjoy my physique through and through, which I know you can call that body dysmorphia or whatever you want to call it, but
You're gonna get a tad bit fluffier, then cut down for the summer, for the show, whatever you want to do, then go back up again. If you cannot mentally accept that your body's gonna look different at different points in the year, you have body dysmorphia, dude.
my understanding is 15% body fat for a male, perfectly healthy. 20%, probably decently healthy as well, but the further above 20% you go, the less healthy it gets. If 20% is where one feels happy and healthy and has the energy to progress in the gym, that is your Maingaining right there. And then you add the calories as needed. I feel like that should kind of be the end of this debate. But that's just my 2 cents. What do you guys think? I'd really like to hear your opinion in the comments down below. Thanks a bunch for watching. Bodhi says goodbye too. I assure you, we communicate telepathically. We got this special bond, dog whisperer kind of stuff. I'm gonna sign off now before I say something real stupid. Bye-bye, thanks for watching, thanks for listening.